Sorry about that, everyone. Flame on. How's everybody doing today? I'm here once again with New Direction with Jared from Comics League. How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
Seriously, I need to get my internet checked because that intro keeps lagging every time I play it. But we're here with a double feature. This time we're talking about New Direction JLA. Jared, do you want to give everyone a quick recap?
All right, so the JLA, for those of you that don't know, in the new 52, they paired Superman with Wonder Woman. I bring this up because it's actually important to the JLA. So what happened was, out of fear that somehow that would cause them to go tyrannical, the government formed what is known as the Justice League of America, which was a team designed to face the Justice League if ever they went evil. So that's where we're basing this off of, and it didn't really go anywhere. I mean, they had a lineup in the new 52, and then in Rebirth, I believe they made it so Batman founded his own JLA that had like Lobo, Vixen, and Black Canary on it.
I believe it was their version of Justice League International. That's what they were going with.
Basically, what it was, but I believe it was titled JLA, and that's where we left it. I mean, they didn't do much with it. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a shame because you feel like at least the first roster, you have Steve Trevor, Hawkman, Stargirl because she was an influencer, Vibe, Catwoman, Martian Manhunter. That's a pretty solid roster, all things considered. Maybe you would have a hard time with Vibe outside of Synergy because, again, hardly anything can counter a speedster. But other than that, that wasn't a bad roster. And it was strictly covert. It kind of reminded you of Earth 16 Young Justice in a way.
A little bit, yeah.
Where it was mostly a spy team. We need to get more stories like that.
Yeah, we need more spy stories because I like stories that you wouldn't expect from typical superhero stuff in superhero universes.
And I see you're adjusting your Hot Toy figures.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm playing with my toys right now.
What was it? Okay, sorry. I lost my train of thought. But essentially, we talked about this briefly on the Wally West video last week, and Wally West took up a good chunk of that stream. Do you want to start where we left off, or you want to focus more on the JLA?
Let's focus more on the JLA because here's the thing. The relevant part of the Wally West stream was the JLA because, okay, so what we're doing by the New Direction universe for any new people is basically it hinges on what if new 52 Superman hadn't died, and you had like two Supermen. And the thing about it, and what I was thinking about today, Jheat, this is actually the way we set up the universe. This is all the more reason for a JLA because now there's two Supermen.
Yes, and that brings me to brings us to our next. Okay. I am planning a Scion Explained video in the future. I am planning that because every time we talk about this, there's always some confusion, whether in a live stream or whether in your streams or mine. Talking about, so we essentially just have two Supermen. Didn't Superman Reborn pretty much fix that?
Fix is a very generous term.
Indeed. But to make this a long story short, essentially, instead of Superman dying, Wonder Woman makes a deal with the gods. New 52 Superman comes back from Tartarus or Hades, I forget. And
we changed the name on that so many times.
We have changed the name on that a lot. But there's a price to pay. And this leads into the God Killer arc. That's all I'm going to say. You may have to go back to that video for context. But back to our main topic. JLA goes from a spy contingency team, covert stuff, reconnaissance. And I believe after the falling out with Wally and Barry, which we had discussed in our previous video, so you might want to check that one out.
It's a good one.
It's a very good one. And excuse me, Wally just wants to be alone. He's just brooding, maybe a little bit of observing Linda because he's not really over her yet. Again, this is like in the immediate aftermath of. We didn't call it Flash War. What did we call this arc?
I have no idea. Flash Screw Up, maybe.
Maybe. Working title. But God. Afterwards, Artemis tries to comfort Barry. God damn it. Artemis tries to comfort Wally. And I'm just like, why are you even here? Jared,
Mhm.
what do you think?
Yeah, and it's essentially like she's like, you're not acting like a hero. You're kind of shirking your responsibility because you had a falling out with Barry.
Well, once you lose your entire livelihood, everything you spent your entire life to achieve, all because of one selfish screw up, you tell me.
And then she basically says, "That's life, Wally. Beyond being a superhero, that's just life."
No, life is having responsibilities. Life is reluctantly leaving a toxic relationship. Barry nearly ripped the multiverse apart because he couldn't make peace to something that was beyond his control. And I should just placate him?
But let me ask you this, Wally: if you were in his position, what would you have done?
Sure, some things we can't change. But you need the wisdom to know the difference. But I created my own reverse flash in Professor Zoom because I wouldn't change the timeline to fix his accident. Zoom tormented me for years, but I didn't change the timeline over it. I accepted the reality of the situation.
Yeah, but it's a different like scenario when you lose a family member very close to you.
Okay, I mourned for Barry. When we assumed he was disintegrated, all the while he was bound to the Speed Force for 20 years, I mourned him. We all did. My Aunt Iris was devastated. Hell, I took his namesake, for God's sake.
And we understand that, but I keep calling him Wally. It's a different scenario when you're dealing with the loss of a family member and a parent. I should know. I think she should know.
I lost. Not only was I betrayed, I lost my family.
But you honestly expect me to believe that if you had the opportunity to go back in time and change that, you wouldn't?
Of course, I'd be tempted, but there's a difference between temptation and actually going through with it.
There's a difference between temptation and desperation.
Barry was dealing with the same thing he had been dealing with for 20 years. The only difference is Dawn manipulated the timeline to mess with him.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But again, you really think that after what happened with Sanctuary, do you really think you want to be lecturing other people on their mistakes?
I appreciate the counter argument, but we're still in New 52, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, yeah, I was like, can I bring that up? But yeah.
And fun fact, that was actually Savitar trying to break out the Speed Force, so technically Wally wasn't at fault.
Well, that's true, but I was just trying to bring that up. But I mean, Wally, we all get it that you lost everything. But I got news for you. Let me put it this way: Wonder Woman almost lost her boyfriend. We've all lost something. Get
She made
over
a
it.
deal with Hera, not just any pantheon, Hera.
Yeah, out of desperation. People do things they wouldn't ordinarily do out of desperation.
I get it. They're the ones who help push Darkseid back, and we need in this good PR. But we're a covert team. Outside the U.S. government, we don't have to answer to anyone. And I sure as hell not going to kiss Barry's ass.
After everything Barry's done for you, really?
Barry didn't do anything.
You wouldn't even be a superhero if it weren't for Barry.
Barry mentored me. I won't refute that. But that's almost what if Bruce did something unethical and it was at Grayson's and it was at Nightwing's expense?
That's just right. Bruce. He does that all the time.
No, I'll give you a minute to think about that one.
Bruce is in the well.
At
how about this?
Expense,
remember,
think about it.
Well, here's the thing. Wally, remember, Bruce has done some pretty unethical stuff, i.e., the contingency plans he didn't tell us about. And guess what we all did? Guess what we all no. Guess what we all did? We forgave him.
Just because one forgives doesn't mean I have to forget.
Fair enough, but I got news for you. The way you're acting is not healthy.
Look, I'm not trying to obsess over Linda. It's a completely different timeline. This isn't a multiverse scenario. This is a completely different timeline. I have to make peace with that. But if you think I'm going to play ball, you might as well have Waller put one of those meta collars on my neck right goddamn now.
That's nice. I like this. Trust me, he affected all of Flashpoint affected all of us. We're just going to, but ultimately, there's nothing we can do to change it. Present
Oh, there is. But two wrongs don't make a right.
Fair enough. But basically, I could see that this story turning into so eventually, I feel like this is going to lead to Wally joining the JLA because he's like, no, if Barry can do this, we need a speedster on our side to counter him.
Reluctantly, he'd do it just to get a rise out of Barry because, again, I'm not saying this is Wally being edgy. This is Wally when he's blatantly pissed off and has every right to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Like, Barry, you got to make this right. This was your sidekick. Regardless of the timeline, you got to make this right. I don't even know if I can. It's not like I just changed the timeline. It's more than just losing Linda. They had children together, a family. Barry, you couldn't have known. Multiverse, it's always explained by Mr. Terrific, by other geniuses. Hell, even Luthor took a crack at one point in time. There's always a cost with multiverse theory. And I use the treadmill anyway.
What you probably should have done was ask Mr. Terrific, what could happen if I do this?
I let Dawn get in my head, and I made a mistake. One I can never take back.
Then how about you explain that to Wally?
He won't listen to me. It's one thing to lose a family member. It's another to lose a partner in arms on the field. But your wife and children, that's enough to drive anyone insane. Hell, it took you and the JLA teaming up just to make sure Wally didn't try to kill me.
Okay, that's true. I'll tell you what, we'll keep an eye. Bruce is going to keep an eye on Wally. But I think, honestly, Wally is stronger than we give him credit for.
He'll beat this. He may need time to heal, but he'll beat this.
It'll take time. He'll beat it. Trust me. Eventually, he won't get over it, but eventually he'll understand, I think.
And then this is the scene where Wally speeds over. We got a few minutes. I could drag you in the Speed Force, or we can be civil about it. Why the last minute change of heart? Well, a certain tiger got on my ass, and I didn't want to risk losing my powers.
Yeah, and then this would essentially be Barry apologizing, going, "Hey, listen, dude, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking because all I could think of was getting my mother back from time. That's all I was thinking about."
But let's see.
And that's on me. That is on me. Hey, what's up, David?
What's up?
So what we're doing right now is we're doing a live edition of New Direction.
Yeah, due to technical difficulties, this one's going to be live streamed. So please, you're welcome aboard. Feel free to comment anything you want to add. Mm-hmm. But so what's the play? I'll join the JLA, but not as a counter to you. So you can have a first-hand reflection of what your selfishness has caused. I'm here to make sure you never pull a stunt like this again.
There you go. That works. And what we could even do, I was gonna say we could turn Barry into a supervillain, but that would essentially,
that's a poor taste.
That's a poor. It's particularly with like the way the Flash books have gone recently. I don't want to piss off people like Tom King did, or like more accurately DC editorial.
It could work, but you would need a very good reason why Barry would go off the rails.
Mm-hmm. True,
you can't pull no CW. You can't pull no Eric Wallace CW crap.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what's our lineup for the new JLA?
New JLA, I would definitely remove Green Arrow because his role was essentially to be a wingman for Steve Trevor as he got over Wonder Woman. Give Green Arrow his own book so he could team up with Black Canary.
Mm-hmm.
And then those two get together. And this would have been around the time of World's Finest, where Earth 2 Huntress and Power Girl crossed over for a bit. So maybe a little Justice Society reference.
There you go.
Have them team up.
I could see that. That would work out really well.
Wally gives them the mission like, okay, so what? We're going to directly intervene in a superhero battle? Not quite. You're going to detain. They're anomalies from a parallel Earth and with powers rivaling Superman, and we need to assess the threat. Or they could be refugees who crossed over from one of Darkseid's invasion. We don't know the full implications. This is Wally, by the way. Considering what Flashpoint has cost you, you're the last person to be defending the League's actions. You're right, I am. But at least I don't use a government sanction and abuse of authority as an excuse to justify paranoia.
Yeah, and then out of the shadows comes Batman, and it's like Batman himself actually collabed with Waller to create the JLA, and this is a reference to Tower of Babel.
Even in the old timeline, you pulled a lot of crap over the years, Bruce, but this is a new low even for you.
Okay, so let's do a recap. You have someone that can run back in time and save and change time. You have not one, but two Kryptonians that are god tier powers. You have an Amazon that has the powers of the god of war. You have a man who rules over 75% of the earth. And actually, no, wait. You have two people that could go back in time and change time. Excuse me for being a little paranoid.
And with the way you've been acting, you're one temper tantrum away from doing something equally stupid.
Hey, we saw what happened when you came out, Wally. Excuse me for saying we need a team that's going to like stand up to this.
I was justified. Doesn't make it right.
You don't think I wanted to kill Joe Chill as soon as I got the chance to?
That's not the point. You had a mentor to guide you through those dark days. And no matter the temptation, you maintained moral rigidity. All Barry did was waste half his life playing the damn victim. Like you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. You're being exactly what Barry is. You're doing exactly what Barry was doing.
You know damn well it's not the same.
Oh, yeah, it is the same. How is it different?
For one, I had a real family to support and love me, rather than just a bag of strays you pitied off the sidewalk. And this is where this is a Guy Gardner moment where Batman sucker punches Wally.
Exactly. There you go.
Because let's be honest, Wally's definitely acting like the Gardner of the JLA. He's kind of being a blowhard right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then Batman goes, one, you didn't see that coming, and two, I gave the Bat family purpose when they went through exactly what I went through.
I didn't intend for them to be soldiers. By all accounts, they're welcome. They want to continue being heroes. Fine. If they want to leave, by all means, I won't stop them. But at least I helped them redirect their lives and give them purpose. You're the one clinging to a petty 5-year grudge. And that's if we're counting when Barry undid Flashpoint. 5 years.
5 long years. Yeah, that's it. Listen, it's been 5 years. I get it. There's nothing we can do about it. And holding a grudge is not going to bring your family back at all. It's not going to undo what Barry did.
Tell me, if something were to happen to Alfred, and a league or an anti-hero was involved and didn't tell you, would you just stand idly by on your damn principles, or would you have the cowl up your ass like always?
Well, let me think about that. Would he?
That's a 5G reference. Think about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But remember, 5G has not happened in our universe.
Oh, no. I'm just saying a scenario where Alfred did die, would Bruce snap?
No, because it's always been a contingency. It's always been a thing I planned for. And then I would take comfort in my friends. Because you're acting like there's no one here for you, but you have Clark, Diana, Hal, me, the Titans. You have an entire group of people that understand loss and know what you're going through, and you're self-isolating. That's a complete opposite thing. And David says, I don't think he'd snap. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Batman would necessarily snap. And that's one of the many reasons why I'm glad 5G didn't happen, because there's no way Batman would hire the Joker to kill Bane. And there's no way Joker could kill Bane. Let's be clear on that.
No, unless some type of poisoning was involved. All the Robins. That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm. The Robins.
Oh, the Robins were great before Batman.
Look what happened to Jason.
A lot of that could be tied to post-mortem madness, but hey.
My point still stands. But and the thing is that look at like Nightwing New World Order, when essentially like I think a tragedy happens to Nightwing. He snaps and kills all the metahumans. I believe
he removes their powers. He depowers everyone.
He depowers. So I need to find that story because I've heard it's really good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. A lot of Nightwing and Corey moments in it.
Oh, then Nick should really love that one.
But I feel like the way Wally's acting like this is because he has nothing else to take his anger out on. He knows he could fix it, or at the very least, he could create a new reality. But he knows he'd be a hypocrite for doing so.
And honestly, he wouldn't. Even if he wants to, he wouldn't, because he knows. Okay, if this happened because Barry went back in time, what's going to happen if I go back in time?
It's a paradox. Not to mention, Thawne would get the last laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're going to do, Wally. You'll play ball for now, but sooner or later, Thawne's a living paradox. He's going to make a move sooner or later. I know what you're thinking. Enlighten me, world's greatest detective. You're going to kill him. The thing about being a living paradox is he can't die by conventional means. Not to mention he's from the future, so I can't even use the paradox angle. So how would you get rid of him? I'd rip him apart molecule by molecule. See, that's the thing about preaching. You hardly ever have the stones to back it up.
And then Batman goes, okay, but how is that going to solve anything?
It won't, but at least it'll make me feel better.
If that's going to make you feel better, we should be very concerned, Wally. Because do you think it may feel better in the short term, but the pain will still come back?
Fine. This isn't what Linda would want.
Exactly. If you cross that line, you're no better than Barry.
You mean Thawne?
Okay, you're no better than Thawne.
My kids were connected to the Speed Force, so I might be able to say they're probably adrift in another dimension somewhere.
Yeah, so go find them, but do not kill. Maybe, but kill, no.
Fine. I'll give Thawne one chance to stand down. But if he picks a fight, I'm putting him in the ground.
I like this. By the way, your evil Wally is so, like, menacing. It's really good. I like that.
Thank you.
There you go. It's almost like a Constantine.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, I love that. So essentially what we would get is so Wally goes into the Speed Force, and then there's like he's like on the side right now, and then we get to the JLA. And by the way, I would say pre-Flashpoint Superman, like we said last week, goes on the JLA.
Yeah, he's a stand-in because Wally's traversing the multiverse. This is how we get connected to Earth 2 with Wally reuniting with Mr. Terrific. Because originally Mr. Terrific is from Earth 2. He crossed over at some point. And that's where the thumbnail, Path to Rebirth, where they figure out Dr. Manhattan. They find Irie and Jay a lot sooner. I would not pull Flash forward. At least not the way it was originally written. You can still have Duganoff and all that, but I just want to do Heroes in Crisis specifically.
No. Obviously, if we did Heroes in Crisis, it'd be a lot better because we would change a lot of stuff.
Oh, big time.
But yeah, and essentially I would have it where they start like we would still keep like all of a sudden people disappear in blue light. In other words, we would do all the teases that it's Dr. Manhattan. Would we keep the button in the Batcave though?
Yes, because that's an established plot point going in. That's pretty much that. Yeah, because that goes into Gotham and Gotham Girl and all that. Which I might make that a new wasted potential video, but maybe have Signal, Gotham, and Gotham Girl patrol Gotham during the day while Bruce is investigating, getting ready to go on patrol at night. That's such a wasted potential, and I just feel like, God, you could do so much.
Because you have characters that are basically the level of Superman exploring, patrolling Gotham during the day. No one's going to pull crimes in the daylight. And when you have Batman at night, no one's going to do anything at night.
Okay, here's how I would handle Gotham and Gotham Girl. We know they're basically unstable due to their powers. And this is essentially syndrome, where it's pretty much never meet your idols or syndrome mentality.
But remember, actually, Gotham Girl was crazy because she got exposed to, and that's
Venom.
a wrong term, not Venom, but Psycho Pirate.
That wouldn't happen until way later. I'm just focusing on those two specifically.
Okay.
The less they use their powers, they'll be able to live longer until they can find a cure or something to stabilize them.
Mm-hmm.
But Gotham Girl thinks she could do a lot more. She breaks formation. She ends up trying to contain an Arkham breakout, gets abducted in the chaos, and is tortured by Psycho Pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Batman wants to honor his pact or his partnership with Commissioner Gordon, so he can't really intervene in an active police investigation. So the Bat family can't intervene in an active police investigation.
Mm-hmm.
In Gotham, the moment you storm off, you break all ties with the GCPD and will be forced to manhunt for you. We'll find her, but you need to be patient. I need to be patient? Says the guy who keeps a twisted clown killing over and over again just because the system doesn't have the balls to put him down.
I can't counter that because even I'm like, yeah, Batman's a hypocrite for not taking out the Joker because he's just as responsible for what the Joker does.
And then this is where basically you start off with actually Gotham being acknowledged by Batman, teaming up with his idol, being part of the Bat family.
Mm-hmm.
But Gotham Girl's abduction and her torture by Psycho Pirate, that's the last straw, and this is where the falling out begins.
Mm-hmm. And then we can even have as an Easter egg, Batman breaks out the Dark Knight Returns anti-Superman suit. Easter egg.
It's more of a callback than anything.
Yeah, it's like we do see him like fight Gotham in it eventually, but it's mainly just like so we can have a Batman Superman fight without having a Batman Superman fight.
Pretty much. And we haven't talked about this yet, but what's Clark dealing? Clark is actually trying to console Wally in all of this. And I'm just like...
And we're talking pre-Flashpoint Clark, right?
Yes, pre-Flashpoint Clark.
Okay.
Superman is pre-Flashpoint Clark. Scion is New 52.
I'd imagine Clark would be the first one Wally goes to because Wally's from his Earth.
Yes, and they're both going through the same thing. The only difference is Clark has Lois and John to help him through it. Wally's all alone, or at least he thinks he is.
Oh, and by the way, I would say in the new direction, here's an idea. We kill Lois Lane. Hear me out on this.
Okay.
And we have Scion has to fight Superman. Because we do take a more injustice route where Superman starts to become more aggressive because he's angry about Lois. And then Bruce comes to Scion and goes, dude, realistically, you're the only one that can stand up to this other Superman.
His wife is dead. Half of Metropolis is blown beyond repair, including radiation poisoning, and he's practically unhinged. You're not going to be able to talk him down.
Would we still do the nuke?
It's Joker.
Okay, we could do that. So it's pretty much that. And then Bruce essentially goes, do what you have to do. And then when I could see it would be really controversial. I could see us doing the Man of Steel neck snap.
No, that's pushing it.
But wait, what it's revealed is that this is all a hallucination by Scarecrow's fear toxin.
Huh. So Clark was under it the entire time.
Yeah. In
You're
other
lucky.
words, what we do is we make it so Lois is not actually dead. That's just a scarecrow hallucination of Superman, and then Superman goes on a fear-induced rampage, and then and then essentially Scion shows up and has to at first beat him down because obviously he's going to be fighting, and there you go.
Just goes to show you're not ready to take me on just yet. You forget. I wasn't trying to kill you.
Because if I wanted to kill you, trust me, you'd be dead right now.
Looks like that little power-up Zeus gave you really came in handy. Diana benefited more than I did. But the suit's a nice touch.
And by the way, yes, for those who don't know, Scion is wearing the black suit. It's just
with the cape. With the cape.
With the cape. With the cape. The only one that's allowed to have the black suit without the cape is pre-Flashpoint Superman.
There we go.
Essentially, it's the new 52 Superman suit, but black with a silver cape.
Okay, imagine the old DCAU episode where the Bat family's hunted by the GCPD and the whole thing's just a fever dream from Batgirl getting exposed to fear toxin.
That's what it is.
That's basically what this is.
That's what it is. Because that way we keep an homage, Flashpoint, and we keep it make it. It's Scion's hallucination from the fear toxin that he snaps Superman's neck. Because he's afraid of going too far.
Yeah, he's afraid he'll snap one day.
Pun intended. But and basically all it is, and we make people think that he's dead. We, in other words, pull a marketing stunt. But we're like, nope, don't worry, it's not that. We're not, because it'd be pretty hypocritical if we said let's keep New 52 alive just to kill Flashpoint Superman. I mean, pre-Flashpoint.
No, we'd piss off a lot of the older fans because this would have been around 2012, 2013 by the time this would have come out. So we would have pissed off a lot of people if we did that.
And the one who like knocks them out of it is Diana. She shows up in the gold armor. I love marketing stunts too, Drew. Speaking of David, marketing stunts, CLD, we talked about the Ms. Marvel stuff. But so now all of a sudden they're both wrapped in the golden lasso, and she goes, "Can you guys please stop fighting for once?" And she's in the golden armor. Because I don't think we saw in the new 52 the golden armor.
We never saw it in the new 52 outside of variant covers. But Diana? Wait, why am I back? Joker, the submarine, Lois. Clark, you need to calm down. I need to calm down? Just be glad I was here to get Lois out of the way. You were hit with a kryptonite fear toxin-induced cocktail, and you nearly tore half the city apart in a fear-induced rampage. Well, you would have done a lot more damage if I wasn't here. Don't get cocky. You got exposed too. Hey, someone had to save the people.
And what this establishes, by the way, is that the two Supermen are for real. Why didn't she have it during that entire era? They probably figured because she's the God of War in that era that she doesn't need it. But it would be kind of cool to like have like at least the God of War helmet and like some form of the Kingdom Come suit. I think that'd be super dope. But what we're establishing, and the reason why this scene is important, is we're establishing why two Supermen exist in our universe. They're a check on each other. In other words, this way we establish, because part of the reason why we brought Flashpoint Superman back, pre-Flash, I keep calling him Flashpoint, pre-Flashpoint back, is because that way he mentors Scion. But with this shows what Scion brings to Flashpoint Superman is because he's like, no, I will also be a check on you.
Now, since this is basically sense off Injustice Clark's vision in year 3, would Bruce actually kill Joker and turn himself in?
That's a good question, because I don't think he would turn himself in. Because at this point, because if I were writing Batman, he'd be like, he nuked a city. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, but you usually leave them for us to process. Then he's going to get off on the insanity plea, condemned to Arkham. Then he's going to break out again.
He's going to break out. I've done it's just the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Because the moment Joker's taken out, it's going to lead to a massive power vacuum. At least if I'm the one doing it, I can mitigate some of the damage, and a lot of these villains will back off.
And I got the Justice League on my side. They're not going to try anything if they know Superman is going to show up.
It wasn't your call.
What's Two-Face going to do against Superman?
It wasn't your call to make, Bats.
I tried it your way. Guess what? It didn't work. And if anything, it got your daughter paralyzed and Jason killed.
You know it as well as I do. No jury in the land will fault me for what I did. The most you'll be able to do is expose my identity. And we both know that's a mutually assured destruction scenario.
Yeah, so there's nothing you can do. James, I trust Gordon, I trust you. You're a close friend. But I'm asking you, trust me on this. By the way, I just want to... I'm not going to go on some weird killing spree or anything like that. This was extenuating circumstances. He just
committed one-off.
It's a one-off. He committed mass genocide. By the way, in our universe, yes, we will kill the Joker. He is dead. And at this point, I say we don't bring him back.
In stories where Joker's killed, he's hardly ever come back. Maybe a doppelganger or two, but...
No, but we're making it very clear. This isn't a marketing stunt. We're like, oh, the Joker will be back soon. No, he's dead. At least for let's say until the next reboot.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's at least say that. But yeah, this extenuating circumstances. And Jim, you've trusted me for years. I need you to trust me on this.
And then Poison Ivy reaches out to Bats. You actually did it. You actually did it.
And then Jason sends him a text. And then Jason sends him a text. About damn time.
Oh, please. It's more than what he deserved.
And then he goes to Jason. Jason, I'm sorry. In this occasion, you were right. I should have done it a long time ago. These bodies are on me.
I'll turn myself.
No, he's not going to turn himself in. I could see Batman temporarily stepping back from being Batman.
Yeah. But Waller would come in. It's basically the agency from Telltale. You'll be working with me for a bit. You can still defend Gotham, but you and your people will be under agency protection, at least until the investigation blows over. Yeah,
and then essentially he puts let's say Tim Drake. Let's give Tim Drake more of a role. He takes over as the protector of Gotham, while Batman is kind of on the sidelines. Because I feel like this is how we give Tim Drake more of a role in the DCU.
Like a Red Wing or a Batman Beyond?
Yeah, exactly. He has his own identity, and he basically says, you're ready, Tim. You can do this. And yeah, he would think about retiring for sure if he killed someone, and if he came back, I'd say it would lead to Dark Knight Returns. I don't think it would take that long for him to come back. What we're realistically saying is maybe... I agree with No More Joke. Of course. I'm done with it. At this point, and by the way, after Injustice, I'm surprised. Honestly... That's a character assassination on Batman because Superman killed, but at first he killed the Joker only. That was the only person he killed.
If it was just Joker and it was just a one-off, okay, Joker had it coming.
That's why I say Batman is the reason why all those other deaths happened in Injustice. Because if he had not been a pretentious a-hole and was just there for Clark after Joker and says, "Listen, dude, I'm here for you. I'm gonna help you through this." I do not think it would have led to Injustice.
Yeah, but Injustice is more of a battle of extremes. So that's not how Bruce would normally react.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying in the main continuity, Bruce, at least from what at least in my opinion, and you could agree me or not on this. I think that Bruce would be concerned, absolutely, but he would have been there for Clark.
Definitely. That's a fair point. I'll give you that. That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, I also think that Wonder Woman would have at least not gone as evil as she did, because I feel like she took a lot of her cues from Superman. Because they had the potential for her, because she went through the whole Steve Trevor thing on her island, but again, Superman could have shown her all men are not like this.
That's true.
And then David says he could deal with some pretty interesting internal conflicts going forward as well. Will he kill again? Does he feel remorse? I would say he does feel remorse, absolutely, because he spent so much time, a long time doing all this he spent so much time one way, and then he lets it snap this one time, and that's why he takes a second to like collect himself. He's like, he takes a second to breathe, essentially to breathe, so it doesn't happen again. And then he comes back. He's like, okay, it's not going to happen again. That was a one-time thing. Let's move on.
And I'd say Selena leaves it. This is where Selena leaves the JLA because she's concerned about Bruce. They've been on and off for a while. Like Bruce might actually snap this time.
We actually go through with the wedding. And by the way, this would, you know what this would do? Killing the Joker, Batman killing the Joker would have a positive effect on Gotham crime because now they know there is a chance he will break his rule. Are you gonna mess with Batman now if you know there is a possibility he will kill you?
Well, basic goonery will go way down.
Yeah, obviously the villains.
The villains aren't going to care. Yeah, the villains aren't.
But they're going to have a lot of trouble finding henchmen because the henchmen are going to be like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm out."
How would Harley be impacted by all this?
I think at first, I think the way Injustice Harley reacted would be essentially how she would react. She would be a little angry and sad because the Joker's dead, but eventually she would like take comfort in Poison Ivy and a lot of her other friends, and then she'd become more of the anti-hero that she is in the Injustice comics.
Okay, that's fair.
And I mean, she would still, and then obviously we would bring in the whole Harley Quinn daughter thing because I like that storyline to kind of humanize her a little bit, turn her into the White Knight Harley. Yeah, exactly. That's the way I could see it going.
Yeah, but it's still Joker's kid, though.
No, but remember, that kid had no exposure to the Joker, though.
It's good conflict. It's good
conflict, and at least it puts. What if we make it so Harley stayed with Joker so he wouldn't find out about the daughter?
My own little JJ.
So we dude, chills. So we explain that's why Harley has never left the Joker because she was protected because she knew eventually he would find out about the kid. Because really, Injustice Harley seemed to be more sane than normal.
True.
Than regular Harley. So I feel like she would have this sort of like this thing. And if we read the comics, she was very concerned for her kid. So there you go.
Okay, we would technically let this bleed over to Rebirth. Joker still stays dead, but Joker had one little contingency plan because again, he had tortured Jimmy Olsen first. And in Justice, he killed Jimmy Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say this carried over to Rebirth. Now, this is something if editorial really forced us to do this. Joker, essentially Batman Beyond's Jimmy Olsen.
Ooh. The Jimmy Olsen fans would be pissed, but that would actually be an interesting idea.
It could work.
That would be interesting. Like they start hearing about clown stuff happening again, and everyone's like, wait, I thought Batman killed him.
It's basically another Damian situation. They weren't around the Joker.
Yeah, but except the kid is not an assassin. The kid's a normal kid. That's the difference there.
Oh, Selena and Talia would pretty much hate each other.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because Talia sees Selena as stealing Bruce away from her. Because, you know, she always held out faith that Bruce would come to her. Obviously, now married to Selena, he's not going to do that. Oh, can you imagine? Wait. We do the Tom King double date, but Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and Catwoman.
That could get ugly real quick.
Yeah, it would be a very entertaining issue. You can't deny that.
Yeah, Bruce is definitely going to end up with a few broken ribs.
Yeah, essentially. And let's see. Who else can we factor in here?
Well, Arsenal. Since we're already shipping Wally and Artemis at this point,
mm-hmm.
Arsenal and Cheshire and how they find Leanne.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
We could have something similar to what we have now with Donna DC Green Arrow.
Yeah, I dig that. I read that and I was like, yeah, that's pretty solid. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Green Arrow and Black Canary, because that was the biggest. See, here's the thing. As much as I love the new 52, there were some characters like Lobo and Green Arrow that they butchered.
Yep.
Butchered. You can argue Superman was still Superman to a degree. No, Lobo and Green Arrow were not Lobo and Green Arrow.
No.
Those are the only ones that I cannot argue that.
No.
Nor do I want to. So first off, we make Green Arrow essentially we rebirth Green Arrow, because Rebirth Green Arrow was awesome.
Okay, you could still have him the government agent in the beginning, like in JLA Volume 1, maybe a little bit of Volume 2. But right after he leaves the team, he goes right back to classic Oliver. More quippy, more
against the government and stuff, or not trusting the government because it's Green Arrow.
And I'm just like, Oliver's like the first person to suspect this. You essentially had a speedster who was adrift in another dimension, was completely absolved of what happened with Flashpoint, loses his entire family, and Wally has no safeguards on the off chance Wally found out. Mm-hmm. Wally wanted Barry out of the way on the off chance he pulls another Flashpoint. She let a situation to allow Wally to figure out what happened and pretty much have Wally be her smoking gun to off Barry. Let's be honest, that's something Waller would do.
Yes, of course.
And I'm just like, nope, I can't trust these people. I'm the one with I'm one of the few who has no powers. I could easily be disposed of if Waller's having a bad day. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yep. And plus, again, because what that reference is in like hard traveling heroes, because Green Arrow does not trust the government. So he's like, no, particularly Amanda Waller. So he's like, nope, I'm done. So he leaves, and essentially that's where we get like a lot of the. We could do hard traveling heroes, but it's Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it turns into, and obviously we get those two back together because that's the way it's supposed to be.
With a little bit of friction with Oliver, with Dinah finding out about Connor Hawke.
Oh yeah, of course. And by the way, that's one relationship that I do. Let me put it this way: Black Canary plays more of a role for Oliver Queen than Lois Lane plays for Superman. And I'm saying that because I anticipate people saying, "But you're okay with breaking up this classic couple?" And I'm like, because Black Canary plays more of a role in Green Arrow comics. In other words, Black Canary is not as useless as Lois Lane. I had to say that, Jheat. I had to say that. But yeah, editorial madness. Obviously, editorial would hate us if we ran DC, right? Oh, geez. All the writers would be like, yep, sorry, guys. You can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. It's selling well. We're doing it. I don't care if it messes up your planned story.
Okay. Never thought of.
She's an actual crime fighter. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with Lois Lane. Because Black Canary, you can write her as a damsel, but she's really not a damsel.
She's really not.
She is not. No.
Dinah can hold her own.
There have been plenty of times where, yes, she has been captured and stuff, but she's broken out. Like, wasn't there in like the first volume of Gail Simone's Birds of Prey, she was like tied up so she broke her own wrist so she can get out?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And Black Canary is like, you can't hold her. Obviously, you can have stories where she's captured and stuff, but there's equally amount of stories where, yeah, she will escape.
Would Harley join the Bat family, or would she just stay neutral?
I don't think she would join the Bat family purely because she feels a certain amount of guilt for what the Joker did to the Bat family. But I could see we could redo the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Or the Gotham City Sirens or something like that. Just somehow we'll put her on her own team.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's essentially where we go with that. And she's yeah, exactly. Because what I feel like the problem is, well, first off, and the problem with the Birds of Prey movie, I'm saying this because Harley's not really a Birds of Prey member, is she?
She's more of a Gotham City Siren.
Exactly. If it was a Gotham City Sirens movie, then I would get it. But it was like, why? they did it, by the way, because the Birds of Prey can't sell their own movie. As popular of a team in the comics as they are, which they're not, that's a more niche property, I guess. So that's why they went with that. But I'm like, you could have just made a Harley Quinn movie.
You might as well have.
Because even when they, so it was like Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of blah, 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 blah of one Harley Quinn. Then they shortened it to just Birds of Prey for the tickets. They should have just shortened it to Harley Quinn.
Obviously.
It's just stupid. But anyway, and essentially, so what we would do is that, so she's guilty. She's dealing with, like, first off, PTSD from being with the Joker, but also PTSD from, it's like she sees, like, in nightmares the Joker shooting Barbara Gordon and all that stuff because she knows that she's partly responsible for that.
Did you really think you could hide her from me, Harley?
And nightmares of the Joker doing that essentially.
Oh, we're going to have a quality father-daughter time.
Now, what would we do? Here's a question. What would we? But that was fantastic. That's a great Joker laugh. I love that. What would we do with the Justice League Dark?
Oh, this is where the fun begins.
Yes. You need that.
Okay.
Job, by the way.
Okay.
First off, what's our lineup?
Constantine, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Barrett, Boston Brand. Pretty much, I guess you could just, and Batman.
How about this? Dr. Fate?
I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dr. Fate usually stands on his own. But
oh yeah, we could have Batman on there. Imagine, wasn't there a parody issue that shows Wolverine and all the different teams he's on? Imagine we do that for fun, but it's just Batman because he's on Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, the Bat Family, the Outsiders, all these teams he's on.
And quick side topic. The reason Green Arrow decides to leave the JLA is because he's disgusted about what Waller pulled with Cadmus.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a minute to think about what I'm saying.
Can you repeat it again?
Green Arrow leaves the JLA because of the Cadmus storyline.
Oh, you're bringing in the Cadmus arc. I like that. Dude, that is awesome.
But back to JLD. Justice League Dark, well, it's Mystic Adventure fighting demons, ghouls, anarchists. You could literally just have any mystical adventure and the Justice League Dark will do just fine.
True. And plus, they've consistently, I think, been a pretty solid team. So I don't think we really need to change that much stuff.
Not really. Maybe some melodrama between intention with Constantine and Zatanna because they're constantly on and off. But other than that.
Mm-hmm. I would also say the writer I would put on it is James Tynion because he does really well with those like demon books.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I agree.
He's fine. And so we would have that. What about Titans and Teen Titans?
I could definitely see Wally leaving JLA for the Titans after Cadmus.
Yeah, that's essentially where he would go.
And maybe Artemis joins in. And Donna Troy, because we have Hippolyta and then we have Donna Troy. But so if there's any confusion from a previous video, that's why. And so Donna Troy is very suspicious of Artemis because she's essentially a government agent. She's the daughter of two supervillains, D-listers, mind you, but still supervillains. And she could obviously be a Judas. And I'm just like, look, I'm trying to move on. If it's a problem, we'll deal with it. But just trust me for now, okay? I'll trust you, Wally. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Because remember, Donna and Wally were a thing for a time.
Oh, yeah. And weren't also Donna and Roy?
A lot of back and forth with Donna and Roy. But I think that was more so Donna being a mother figure for Leanne than anything.
That's true. To mess with Nick, I would put Donna and Nightwing.
God damn it.
Hey, if you guys are going to bring up the ship that makes no sense on my streams all the time, I'm going to start screwing around with your stuff. Wonder Wing. That's what it's called. Wonder Wing.
Hey,
you declared war with the wrong dude.
I feel like if you're gonna do all that, you might as well just pair Nightwing with Starfire. It's more established. It's a safer bet if you're gonna do all that.
But I don't want Nick to win. It's only.
Then again, Nightwing has two-timed those two on multiple occasions.
Because he's Nightwing.
Constantine's still the bigger manhole, though.
Oh yes. And what would we do for Aquaman?
Same as New 52 Aquaman, because that run was solid as hell.
And even continuing on with the Dan Abnett Aquaman run, do not screw with that. And obviously, if Bendis Point happens, Taconic does not get on Aquaman.
God damn it.
I had to bring that up because we mentioned Aquaman. No, but isn't it funny? It's hysterics. So basically what Bendis' point is that on a future episode, we're going to talk about what if Bendis never came to DC. And you would be surprised how much of DC's bad decisions link to Bendis' point.
I'm like, everything in the past 5 years can be tied to Bendis alone.
Ooh, yes. Everything that we hate. Beyond it goes beyond Superman and even the Wonder Comics thing.
But
again, it's all the people he brought in.
Okay, if we are going to restore the status quo, have Scion grow back into Superman, what do we do with pre-Flashpoint Clark? Do we have him get a graceful exit? Does he sacrifice himself?
I don't think he should die at all. Oh, are we talking about shifts of love interest now? No, PK, we're just having some fun. So what we're going to, essentially what I thought we could do, I don't want to kill him because I feel like that's also too tropey.
Yeah.
I feel like he would step back from being Superman permanently. He would retire and say, hey, if you need me for anything, if Darkseid invades, yeah, I'm there. But
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But essentially what's going to turn into is he tells Scion, you're ready now. You're Superman now.
Yeah, but if you really, I could really see editorial he goes off to deep space, or because they really want to give some kind of impact. You know how editorial is with stunt marketing.
Or no, we bring, here's what we do. We make it so Doomsday returns.
Okay.
And we get the death of Superman, but it's the death of the pre-Flashpoint Superman.
Hold
on. And that way he passes on the mantle on his deathbed to Scion.
Give me just a second.
Okay. So basically, what I would do to change New 52 continuity to line up with this, I would make it so Doomsday has never shown up in DC in the New 52, even though we would lose Superman Doomed. How would I do this? I would probably just make it so it's another Doomsday, because we all know Darkseid clones Doomsdays. No, a Paradoom invades, and then no. Here's what we do. Darkseid does invade, and he sends an army of Paradooms. The heroes survive at the skin of their teeth, but Superman dies. That way, you don't have to bring back Doomsday. You don't have to screw with New 52 continuity, and you still have the death of Superman. And essentially, what this is pre-Flashpoint Superman officially passing the torch to Scion. And Scion, by the way, is the younger New 52 Superman. We just call him that so there's no confusion. And that's essentially where we go from there. Yeah, exactly.
But instead of Doomsday, okay.
Ooh,
great.
Actually, that would I see where you're going with this.
Would you like to explain, Jared, for our audience?
All right. Actually, you know what? You can take this one.
Okay. All right. Essentially, would have been okay. We're not going to call him Kratos because we don't want to get sued. But God Killer fights off against the Norse pantheon. The fight drags to Midgard, which is Earth, in most depictions. And Thor, if you know Norse mythology accurate Thor, he does not care.
Mhm.
This is a beatdown waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And I could just see Wally in the corner. Should I let Barry get his ass kicked or should I not? I better save him. And then Diana and Superman and Cyan are literally the only ones left standing. Hawk Girl has her wings clipped. Jon Stewart's hand is pretty much smashed at this point. John Jones is on fire. Aquaman is knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, the Justice League is messed up.
Cyborg will be so screwed here. It's not even funny.
Martian Manhunter is like burning.
Oh man.
Barry and Wally's legs are shattered.
Oh,
This is just a slaughter.
Oh,
Batman has to break out the Justice Buster suit, and even then it's messed up.
is that all you got, little man?
Wonder Woman shows up in the Kingdom Come suit with the God of War helmet, and then literally the only three people standing are Superman, Scion, and Wonder Woman.
And God Killer, because this would have
Killer.
been around the time of Ragnarok with Atreus running away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, God Killer's getting a couple hits in, but Thor is whooping some ass.
And we can even build this as like a Marvel DC crossover, and then what? And then essentially, yeah, essentially, this should be the death of Superman, except at the hands of a Norse god.
And I just feel like this is how we set up Thor as the villain. Like, he literally just beats Clark's head in. Like, literally just beats the crap out of him.
Yeah. Like, it is not even... You thought the death of Superman was brutal against Doomsday? Oh no. No. That's gonna look like a
bar fighting comparison.
No, that's gonna look like a rated E for everyone boss battle compared to this. Because this is gonna be blood, gore, maybe even Clark loses an eye. Because remember, magic. Clark is vulnerable to magic.
I got it. Thor steals a knife off God Killer's hand and slices Aquaman's arm clean off.
Oh, you're doing the hook, aren't you? All right, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, essentially, no. Here's what you do: the Justice League is essentially what happens here is the first 5 minutes of Dark Apocalypse War.
Oh, it's a massacre. JLA tries to do something. I'm like, we're gonna die.
Oh, I got something. He actually rips Wonder Woman's arm off, and Scion basically goes crazy and solar flares him.
Is that all you got, Kryptonian? The Amazon put up more of a fight.
And then how does pre-Flashpoint sacrifice himself to win the battle?
Oh, he's fatally wounded. Like, Thor literally just calls down the lightning and just electrocutes him alive.
Yeah.
And then blunt force trauma.
David's laughing. He knows that this would be like a massacre. You know what's kind of funny? Waller tries to send in like the Suicide Squad, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?"
Dude,
he just beat the Justice League. Are you nuts?
Single-handedly, mind you.
And then Deadshot goes, "Just blow up our heads." I'm not doing that.
It'd be a much cleaner death than this.
Yeah, and then the Titans are, and then Nightwing is like, "Come on, guys, we have to go help the Justice League." And then like Wally's like,
"Nope, we are strictly on crowd control. Nope, I'm not in this.
Nope. Sorry, crowd control.
We can't just leave them to be ripped apart. They're our mentors, our allies. Golden Boy, you are honest and true, but even you have to realize this is suicide."
Yeah, and then we could have like Hippolyta and Donna going, "Should we actually step in?" I mean,
it's getting pretty ugly.
I mean, I don't want my mom to get killed, but what are we gonna do? What are we supposed to do against this guy if he soloed the Justice League?
Okay, Zeus. Okay, because every pantheon has kind of like a pact where they stay out of each other's way, and I'm like, Thor's gone off the deep end. I don't know what Odin's planning, but this is completely out of line.
And watch, this was
the Quintessence is going to get on my ass for this.
And then essentially the Greek gods show up. And it's like, no, here's what we do to call up to Superman, Wonder Woman. Apollo supercharges Scion again with the sunlight.
You know, after Godkiller nearly raided your realm to the ground, I'm surprised any of you cowards even bothered showing your faces. But allow me to free you of your shame.
That's badass, by the way. We really have to like voice actor this and turn it into like a series. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, Apollo blasts Scion with sunlight, and it's like, have at him.
The only thing we could do at this point.
Yeah, you like blast Scion with sun. It's too late for a Flashpoint Superman. But then it's like, yeah, he completely annihilates him.
Oh, Godkiller and Scion team up against Thor.
Oh yeah.
Because you forget Kratos is still in this.
And then Superman, and then Scion goes, let's make a god bleed.
I commend you, Kryptonian, but no.
And then all of a sudden, a blade pops in through his chest, and it's like what Wonder Woman had thrown her sword right through his chest.
Oh, you dirty!
And then Superman and Scion takes Thor by the head and like heat visions into his eyes, like in Justice League War.
Then Thor swings Mjolnir, knocking Scion back. And then, God, I can't help saying Kratos. This whole thing is so freaking badass.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. And then, are they fighting near water?
Set it up, Pika. Whenever. Oh yes, definitely.
So then Mara shows up because she just saw Aquaman get trounced, and she hit. It's essentially, remember that scene in Aquaman when she turns wine into like spears? It's that.
But remember, water conducts electricity.
And she does that because he's like, okay, go ahead and shoot me with lightning. You're gonna get blasted too.
You think I care?
Okay.
Trust me, little one. I can dish out a lot more than you can take.
Yeah. And then and Guy Gardner shows up and he's like, okay, hold it there, Beardy.
Now this is just too easy. Flicks Mjolnir right in Gardner's face. Gardner goes flying, knock the frick out.
And then Hal goes, okay, you gotta admit that was pretty entertaining, but I got this. And then he shows up and like blasts him with like constructs. Because Hal is like a league above everyone else in terms of Green Lantern power.
Not gonna lie, that was entertaining. Not gonna lie.
There you go. And
okay, so pitiful mortals. You've barely even done anything to lay a scratch on me. Your elder is beaten. And
then Black Adam shows up and goes, tell him the man in black sent you. I'm only kidding. I had to reference that movie once.
You want to make this a battle of gods, Odin's son? So be it. So you now have Scion, Wonder Woman, Kratos, Black Adam, just barely holding the line against Thor. It gets so bad. Like they're able to hold their own, but Thor is just tanking everything.
Oh, there's a crater in the middle. You know how there was a crater in the middle of that area when Peter Parker came back and says, "What did Peter do?" That's what this is.
Yeah.
There's like a big crater, and then everyone's like, "What are we supposed to do?"
Okay, I might get trademarked for this. But it all comes to a head with either Scion, or now going by Superman, or Diana wielding Mjolnir. The power of Thor.
Yes, I would vote more on Diana. And so temporarily, her arm that was torn off is replaced by an arm made of lightning. There you go.
And then she just bashes Thor's head in again and again. Dinah, he's had enough.
And then the final blow is delivered by Hippolyta, who cuts his head clean off.
Odin's not going to like this. He brought it on himself.
And essentially, the rest of the Justice League is like in intensive care in the Hall of Justice. Like, we're losing him. Clear.
Lois, John, we're here for you, Smallville. John, Take care of your mother and your half-sister, okay? Apollo's gonna need her big brother. Clark, I'm here, Boy Scout. Superman, you ready? And here I thought I'd come to dread these past few years, and everything since Flashpoint. You're not that angsty little narc I had to babysit back in the day. You've really grown into your own, Clark. Be you. Be Superman.
And then he dies. And then he gets a nice little funeral, essentially hearkening back to the funeral for a friend, funeral procession.
I assure you, Lois, Odin will suffer for this.
Mm-hmm. And so would we give like Wonder Woman a cybernetic arm, or do we like use the purple healing ray?
Probably the purple healing ray.
Has that ever healed a chopped off limb?
If it can save Steve Trevor from the brink of death, I'm pretty sure it can restore an arm.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. We'll retcon it can do that. So there you go.
This is my burden. My feud with Odin caused this tragedy. The Earth realm shouldn't have to suffer any from my blunders. You can't take on the hot Odin alone, God Killer. Kratos. That is my name.
You really want to get us copywritten, aren't you?
Nothing a little licensing agreement couldn't fix.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Can you imagine a God of War game that has him team up with the Justice League?
And yet still PlayStation exclusive. God damn it.
I know. But I gotta go get that. Yeah, I know. It is pretty cool. We're making our own DC universe because DC is not really doing so well right now. So we're doing it for them. Hashtag DC hire us. That's the hashtag we need for this show. Hashtag DC hire us. But essentially, and then it would be like a lot of the original Justice League members are like out of commission. We could have Wally take a blast. Barry take a blast of lightning for Barry, and that's kind of when they start to like reconcile a little bit.
Okay, but then as he takes the blast, his legs get blown off, like because of the momentum.
Oh yeah, essentially, yeah, they are messed up. I remember I said their legs are shattered, because they got messed up, dude.
Like, come on, Wally. Barry got crippled.
This would have to be Jheat. This would have to be a Black Label book for what we just did. For the amount of carnage we just wrecked on the Justice League.
It's gonna be in continuity, but we're gonna have to make it a black.
And temporarily, we could put Batman in the Kingdom Come like suit that basically helps him walk around.
Batman gets crippled. It's not even.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Like he literally Thor just ricochets Mjolnir right through his freaking spine. I'm just like.
So essentially, the Killing Joke Batman.
Come on, man. That was too on the nose even for you.
Or we could say it was a Nightfall. I had to. But so yeah, that would lead to. And then essentially. Now, what happens to John now that his father's dead? Oh, by the way, the Superman at this point, when Sion becomes Superman again, he puts back on the blue and red.
With or without the trunks?
Without! By the way, again, if you look at the art that Tom King put out for Trinity, he put out more art. John's suit does not have the trunks. Thank you! This run is getting better and better, baby.
And quick segue. Let me just pull this up.
Yep.
We will be talking about this tomorrow around 1 p.m. Eastern time. Because I'm pretty sure DC kind of ripped us off.
Like, jeez. Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny how, like, shortly after we do this, they announce it. Either we are really clairvoyant or DC ripped us off. No,
and
actually, they don't. They haven't ripped this off yet. We haven't found out who the father is.
maybe legally distinct.
Oh, if it's Superman, then I'm gonna be both elated and a little annoyed of them for ripping us off.
But by the way, when Hippolyta gets older, she will take the Scion name just because.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. And then her
Because-
emblem will be the Superman S with the Wonder Woman W above it.
I really need to get a commission of that done. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, we need to put it out on Twitter. I'm sure someone will do it.
But yeah, the JLA becomes the main vanguard alongside the Titans. The main league takes a few months to recover after
getting crippled, after literally getting destroyed.
Hippolyta, Black Adam, Kratos, and maybe Batman in the Hellbat armor.
Mm-hmm.
Then join Kratos. It's essentially what's got Ragnarok to confront Odin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that would be our God War arc. That would be an event that has the minimum amount of tie-ins. Again, I don't want to have like, in other words, it's not going to be like a Nightwing tie-in for God War. It's going to be like Superman, Wonder Woman, most likely Justice League.
I got it.
Yeah.
Quick side note. Instead of Barry's in a coma. He recently proposed to Iris just before all this kicked off, and now Barry's in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you shelve someone without outright forcing them, degrading someone else.
Oh, there you go. That works. Because let me
Barry's
put it this
in a
way,
coma.
I get the feeling a lot of Justice Leaguers are in a coma right about now. This episode should just be called "We Destroy the Justice League."
Oh man. Just the thought of it, I'm just like, can we even get away with this?
Is it weird? I want this book so badly. Can someone make like a fan comic and send it to us of like the Justice League getting messed up by Thor?
Particularly mythology accurate Thor, not Marvel Thor, because
Marvel Thor would not be able to take on the entire Justice League.
Oh no. Not with that level of savagery, no.
Yeah, this is another level of savagery, dude.
Okay, how would we defeat Thor in this Ragnarok arc? Do we just let it play out like the game, or do we let Diana get the finishing blow?
Diana's killed. Thor's killed. Remember,
Hippolyta
Hippolyta beheaded him.
Because you still got Loki, you still have Lady Sif, you still have Thorin, you have Magni. Magni and Modi were killed in the last game. Never mind. I guess the only one that would really give them some trouble other than Odin is Loki.
And we can make it where it was Loki's trickery the entire time.
Where are you going with this, Jared?
Like, essentially what would happen is that Loki has been trying to find a way to invade Midgard for many, many, many years. But he knew that the Justice League were going to stand in his way. So he manipulated Thor. And in other words, he like enchanted Thor to make him go and like annihilate the Justice League, and then knowing that they would eventually kill Thor. So he took out the Justice League and Thor, and we can do it like this, a prelude to an invasion, kind of like War of the Realms.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. By the way, if you could check the title card.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. That's actually really good. I like that one. Yeah. That's what we would call it. God Killer Justice League, Gods Among Us. There you go.
And now John, okay. John's really the wild card in all of this because I don't know how he'd react. Would he fire a solar flare? Would he want to laugh? Would he? I guess maybe we could do a Super Sense tie-in where Damien has to talk John down from doing something stupid, but yeah. I don't not within the context of the event.
You mentioned John, and look who shows up in the chat.
God damn it.
It's Evia, I swear. It's a regular thing. Knowing John, he would freak out. Yeah, it's so funny, Tevia. We literally said John 5 minutes ago when you show up. And this was unplanned. I just want to be clear on this. This is unplanned.
But yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the proper Norse mythology, or even just the God of War Ragnarok game, this is not pretty. This is not pretty.
And by the way, if this were a video game, it would be rated M. There would be blood and gore and stuff.
Yeah, this would just be ugly.
Essentially, this would be the level of violence of The Boys.
More spectacle, little less dark. Because there's a lot of innuendos in The Boys.
No, but I mean the level of gore is what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed, it would have been it would have been brutal. Yes, it would have been brutal.
Oh, thanks, Pika. Thanks for clearing that up, Pika.
I thought it was we started talking about what John would do, and then Tevye shows up.
Yeah, I think this is the first time Tevye commented.
Or like Invincible. Yeah, exactly. It would essentially be that level of violence.
And then Loki poses as Odin, and I'm like, well, Odin's son sure made a mess of things. If you value your life, Loki, I suggest you cease this trickery. And then I make him just like the games where he can literally just predict everything the League does.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets a little too cocky. Kratos beats the crap out of him. And let's just say Kratos doesn't get the finishing blow.
Mm-hmm. Who does?
John.
Oh, I like that. That's great.
Literally just goes supernova and just beats the living tar out of him.
Oh, yeah.
He's avenging his father. We will not interrupt. He's going to kill him. Good. You lost your family too, Kratos. You should know what that's like. Doesn't mean a boy should have to be robbed of his innocence. That's the main reason Thor got as far as he did. Your League is too soft. My Kratos isn't the best, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm also intrigued how Jonathan Can as a child would freak out his father's death and see. Yeah, we're telling you, he would go nuts.
Would Hippolyta do any? I get Hippolyta's a little girl, but
she's recovering with her parents. She's helping her parents because her parents were also among those that were messed up.
Wonder Woman lost an arm. Scion got his ass kicked. I mean, the only reason he's not brutally hurt is because he was supercharged by Apollo.
And his daughter showed up and cut the head off of Thor.
Wait a minute.
What?
For a moment, I thought you meant like the Amazons came through. Like, I just now thought of that. I'm just like, Daddy's little princess.
Yeah, jeez. That would be awesome.
She reminds me of Atreus. She's a warrior. But her rage blinds her. And please don't pair Atreus and Hippolyta. No. I know you people.
No,
God, no. What is wrong with you people?
Why did you say that name?
Okay, it's not really a Super Sons crossover. John just
it's Kratos with the DC universe is what it is.
It is. The Super Sons just get something to do, like a tie-in issue. I'm just
because
like,
you have to, because Flashpoint Superman, the pre-Flashpoint Superman dies in this.
I feel like this would be better received, a lot better than Superman Reborn, where editorial just caved and it was just pure fan service for 5 issues.
Yep, essentially yes. And plus, you give Superman a final hoorah,
which is pretty ironic because Golden Age Superman or 2 Superman did the same thing for him back in Infinite Crisis. Funny how things come full circle.
If you want to avoid copyrights, you could have the audio version of Kratos' name spelled Kratos. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we could do that.
If you got the audio version of Kratos' name, you said Kratos or Kratos. Okay, I could see that.
We could do that. And Tevye asked, so speaking of Atreus, well, what would his reaction to the DC universe be? We wouldn't really explore that because that's a little beyond the scope of our set story, but maybe in a future book, we could explore that.
And if you really want some context of how Godkiller got in the DCU, just read the previous New Direction we did, not the Wally West one, the one before that.
Yeah, essentially, because we set this up for like a long time. This is essentially the Dark Side War of our Justice League run, if you will.
Pretty much.
But essentially, it leads to so yeah. For right, and then eventually, when the League returns, it's like let me see. Hang on. Oh, I got it. So here's how the League would do. The invasion happens. The War of the Realms invasion happens. You know how in War of the Realms at the end, Thor summoned Mjolnir?
Yep.
What happens is a boom tube opens, and everyone's like, "Oh no, is Darkseid coming?" And then it's like the reformed Justice League emerges with Superman. Obviously, this is now Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman. I wouldn't use Hawkgirl yet. I would probably put in Martian Manhunter and Wally West with prosthetic legs.
Wait, I thought it was Barry who would lose his legs.
Oh no, Barry with prosthetic legs.
Okay.
And by the time, if you want to see how Wally West will react, remember, Wally West does not have his family in this timeline because we're operating in the new 52 timeline.
So this is before like Rebirth, Flash Forward, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Earth 2 would still have a role thanks to Mr. Terrific, but that's more build up for Rebirth than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which,
we wouldn't do Rebirth because what Rebirth was screw the new 52 fans. That's what it was.
All right, here's my compromise. Instead of Wally coming back or trying to reach out with the Speed Force, it's Irie and Jay.
But why would? But here's the thing about that. The reason why Wally works for that is because he was ignored for so long, and Wally has a larger fan base than Irie and Jay do.
I'm not saying okay, that may be true, but that's still Wally's arc, his resentment of Barry, his content towards the League. It builds up towards Wally's arc. It would be a good.
You wouldn't replace Wally in the new.
No, we'll still have Wally and we'll still have Wallace, but Ace will have his own identity. I'm just saying, let original Wally have his kids back.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine with that. That's fine with that. We could do that. At least the kids back. Well, actually, no. Isn't that what Wally was doing on the side in our story because he went to the Speed Force to get them?
Oh yeah. Okay, swap out what I just said with Jay Garrick because
that works.
Just swap out for Jay Garrick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what the hell, Barry? What did you do? Sorry, I've been holding that one in for the past hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. What? Jeez. What did you do this time, Barry? Yeah. I'll agree with you on that one, Tev. As much as I want to defend the new 52, Teen Titans is undefendable.
Is that there are other books out there, but okay. This would be a good transition to Rebirth. And speaking of the JLA, hold on, I had this one pulled up. Give me a second. Jared, you want to talk about how Wallace would appeal and all this?
Essentially, what did we do for Wallace?
Wallace would kind of blend into the background because the first arc, or where you have Wally versus Barry, Ace didn't really have a role. He would kind of progress in the new 52 Flash just before Teen Titans. So Barry's in a coma. Barry's in a coma. What's that girl? She was the Black Flash for a while. She was working in the John Williamson run. Mina. Yeah, Mina takes over his mentorship. Basically, Wallace is trying to, grow into his own. He just grow into his own, like, because Barry and Iris are to get engaged. Barry's in a coma, and yeah, I just feel like this is an opportunity for Wallace to grow into his own, or at least give more to do. Jared, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. And Jay, but speaking of Rebirth, what would you do with the New 52 Superboy and Bartor? Well, no, here's what we would do. Those characters would not exist, I believe, and then we just have Connor.
Yeah, because
that was both confusing and stupid. And Bartor, nah. Essentially, those are some pre-Flashpoint stuff we're keeping.
Okay.
And by the way, the way we would start post-Flashpoint is the superheroes have been superheroes for at least 10 years. Just that way you don't have to deal with the Green Lantern stuff. And the superheroes know each other. So it's not like we can't have like Blackest Night had happened.
And just
new-
call it Young Justice. Just call it Young Justice.
Yep.
This is
There you
Connor. That's Bart Allen coming from the future, and just leave it the same. And then
There you
have
go.
Raven be there to mentor them.
There you go.
This-
That's it.
This would be pre-Titans, by the way. This would be pre-Rebirth.
Mhm.
Because I cannot stand the new 52 Raven costume. Like that thing is
so stupid.
I'm just like, why?
Why was that changed? The face mask makes no sense.
I guess it was trying to be intimidating because Raven would be more in roots with Trigon. I just don't know.
I can't explain it. I cannot explain it.
But I feel like at some point the Justice League and the JLA will come together, and let's just say it'll lead to an unlimited era.
Nobody could stand the new 52. Yeah, exactly. That song that show had such all the 90s superhero shows had fantastic theme songs. Like, jeez. Yeah. Now what I think we'll do is that for to continue our new direction, verse J, I think we should start transitioning to how we handle the Rebirth era.
Okay. All right. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah, because I think this is a good place to like end the new 52 era.
Yeah, after God Killer, Justice League, Gods Among Us. Yeah, that's a good transition to Rebirth.
And we could even and then essentially, and by the way, our Rebirth is not going to be, because Rebirth was essentially screw the new 52. It was very vindictive. It was very mean. And we'll talk about that on Super Wonder Legacy, the new show starting out Comics League. But this is essentially more solidifying this new status quo. Now, before we, the one thing I will say, will there be like a time jump?
Oh yeah, definitely, because you definitely want Hippolyta to be a little bit older, if you that way to set up the new status quo. Like, how does Scion deal with being a new Superman? How does Scion deal with a daughter and a stepson? Wonder Mom. Like, I definitely say we would skip a few years. At least a year.
At least 5. I would say
at least 5. Okay, that would make Damian about 16, 17. John at 13, and Hippolyta at 10.
Unless you just want to bite the bullet and skip 10 years, we could do that.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah, there you go. It's all good.
But okay, so the main league, we're branching out to Justice League Unlimited. Pretty much anyone who wants to be a hero across the world can join.
Except they have to train. It's not like with the Avengers, and you automatically get into the team if you have powers.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to train. They'll have to train. So some have come and gone, like Stargirl's taken more of a backseat to live more of a life. Catwoman's all but retired, trying to cement her marriage to Bruce with Helena.
Aquaman has stepped down to rule Atlantis.
So who takes over? Garth is Tempest, and Mira is Aquawoman.
Mira. And then I would say put Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, on the League as the League's Lantern.
So what about John Stewart? He's on Oa or training Simon Bass?
Training Simon Baz. He's the training officer for Simon Baz. Wonder Woman stays. Superman stays. Should Batman stay on the Justice League?
Okay. He had where he killed the Joker.
Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Nightwing takes Batman's place in the League. Wally takes Barry's place because Barry's like has no legs. And do you want to keep Cyborg, or you want to put someone else on there?
Cyborg will definitely go to the Titans because I feel like Cyborg will mesh better there.
How about Hawkman?
Nice.
And by the way, Tavia, Teen Lantern and Far Sector don't exist and will never exist.
I have nothing against Far Sector. If she's in her own sector doing her own thing, by all means.
Well, my thing is that it violates a couple of Green Lantern things, because it's like, oh, the ring was passed down from my mother. And I'm like, that doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
As an Elseworld.
As an Elseworld. And by the way, I see, Tavia, I wouldn't put Martian Manhunter on the team, because then it's just having 2 Supermen.
Well, you do need a psychic on the team, someone to help watch over the Watchtower and coordination. The DCAU used Martian Manhunter
okay,
pretty
he'll
well.
be on the team, but he'll be like the admin guy. Hawkman is going to take Cyborg's place in the Justice League.
Definitely. What do we do with Hawkgirl?
Hawkgirl's still healing because let's make it. It takes a long time to grow her wings back.
Oh yeah,
because her wings were ripped off. I'm like, what do you mean? What happened to Hawkgirl? And by the way, Cyborg is the training officer for the Titans. So the way it works is that you join the Teen Titans, you go to Titans, and then you go to Justice League.
Okay.
That's the way. That's the ladder.
At this point, Damian and John are teenagers. They're part of a Titans team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to put Adam Glass on it because it's too much melodrama. No. I refuse to put Adam Glass on it.
And Fitzmartin stays away from DC, except for in the young adult era.
Keep her in young adult. Do not put her on main continuity books. Please. But, okay. Teen Titans run. Damian and John are adolescents. I could give it to Tynan because he wrote Super Sons.
I would give Tynan essentially JLD.
Justice League Dark. Okay.
Because he did a great job with New 52 JLD. Why not? And he does the horror books really well.
If I couldn't get Marv Wolfman on our version of Teen Titans Rebirth, I would settle for Jeremy Adams or Patrick Gleason.
I wouldn't give Tomasi. Etienne never wrote Super Sons. That was Tomasi.
Oh,
and honestly, mistake. I would put Tomasi on the John Kent book.
Wait, you would still have John Kent Superman? Like
no. John Kent Superboy, or just do the Super Sons book, but with the older John and Damian, and put Tomasi on. Just say that's your area. Do what you want. Go ahead.
Where they're essentially just babysitting Hippolyta the whole time?
Yeah, that would actually work really well. And then I would continue. I would bring back the Superman and Wonder Woman book and it's a little bit like they're dealing with. First off, he's dealing with being Superman. He has his own self-doubts that like Wonder Woman kind of helps to assuage. Them being the
survivor's guilt from Thor, pretty much beating Clark to death.
Beating the crap out of him. Essentially, them being parents, them being like the leaders of the Justice League. And
maybe give Lois something to do, because I feel like Lois would be.
I give her her own book.
Yeah, but would it just be detective noir stories? Would it be, because this version of Lois is freaking depressed?
Okay, and what do we do with New 52 Lois? Because she exists too.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Would we merge those two together?
No. Okay, Lois Lane, Red Tornado from Earth 2.
Mm-hmm.
Either turn one of them into the new Red Tornado, or bring Brainiac Lois back.
No, I got an idea. Lois Lane becomes Superwoman.
Where are you going with this, Jared?
No, because remember, in Rebirth, she got powers when Clark exploded.
I thought that was Lana Lang.
Both of them got powers because of that, and that's why Lois, New 52 Lois, blew up.
Oh, that's right, because she couldn't handle the power of Rejector.
But in this, she wouldn't die. In other words, we would give her more to do. She becomes her own superhero.
Okay, so New 52 Lois essentially becomes Superwoman. Lana Lang becomes binary, or... God damn it.
I would keep Lana Lang as a human, honestly.
Okay, keep Lana Lang normal. Okay, keep Lana Lang normal. All right. So what do we do with pre-Flashpoint Lois?
Pre-Flashpoint, she becomes more of a detective noir book. Wait, she becomes the Question.
Renee Montoya, dude.
Oh, dang it. I keep forgetting about that.
But hold on. Tevye is blowing up right now.
No, okay. I know that's Tevye. I'm saying in this universe is different. Yeah. That's totally fine. I'm down for that. Pre-52 Lois.
Oof.
Do we actually kill her too in the Carnage from Ragnarok, or no?
That'd be a little forced. Okay, all right. Here's how we do it. in the final battle with Odin, she pretty much steals the Hellbat armor because Batman would have taken it off by now because of metabolism. So she steals the Hellbat armor, beats the shit out of Odin. I mean, he's barely hanging on.
It's like, that's for my husband. That works really well. I like that.
But due to the excess strain, because the bat suit feeds off metabolism, it pretty much, because again, she doesn't have the same safeguards Bruce does with his suit and cowl. Mm-hmm. So it eats through Lois. Stop it. It goes through. There's no other way to say this.
It just clicked. I was like, oh no.
The suit tears through Lois very quickly. That's the cleanest I could possibly say it. God damn it.
Well, Tavia, here's the thing. I get that you don't want that to happen, but what role does she play if we already have the new 52 Lois? Because at this point, the pre-Flashpoint Lois becomes redundant.
Okay, here's a compromise. Just like with Barry, she's in a coma as well.
And she just never wakes up?
And we just shelve her. That would be a lot easier than just killing her off.
Okay.
Because with Clark,
no one liked a new 52. Again, Tavia, what you have to understand is that this is stuff written by us. We're not making the same mistakes that DC made.
That is true.
And by the way, that was purely the nostalgia people going, okay, I don't like this because Superman's not with Lois Lane stuff. So
if we had to keep pre-Flashpoint Lois around, I just have her working with John Jones on the Justice League.
There you go.
On the Watchtower.
There you go. We could do that.
Maybe some Steve Trevor.
Put her with Steve Trevor. Maybe she'll make him a useful character.
God damn it.
Oh no, Steve Trevor dies in Ragnarok.
Okay, now I know you're just being petty.
No, he dies like the stalker he is.
Okay. So how does he die? Does he get crushed? A stray lightning bolt?
Stray lightning bolt.
Okay, I can see that. Not gonna lie, I can see that.
I'll give him he goes out swinging, but Zeus essentially he runs at Zeus firing his rifle to save Diana, and then Zeus just.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Zeus barely played a role in this.
Mm-hmm. What about John Kenn's 10-year-old self reacting to his mother and father dying because, oh my boy, he would. Yeah.
He'd be taking.
But Tavia, Ragnarok already happened. He already got revenge. This is taking place 10 years after the Ragnarok event.
Yeah, and it's okay. We'll start Rebirth #1 on the anniversary of Ragnarok and the death of pre-Flashpoint Wonder Woman. I mean, pre-Flashpoint Superman. God damn it!
Stop killing my characters, Jheat.
Pre-Flashpoint Superman. God. John is in his mid to late teens.
They build the statue they built for Superman when he died at the hand of Doomsday, with the eagle.
Yeah, pretty much. Scion visited every year because he's quelled with survivor's guilt. And this is how Scion and John bond.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no real way you can get them to bond. We were literally up against an Asgardian. What more could we have done in that situation?
Oh, and Wonder Woman is the one helping Clark through his guilt because remember, she's a warrior. She's used to losing people. And remember, Superman, for the most part, barely ever has to deal with with an ally dying. Even though this one had to deal with his mother and father, his earthly mother and father dying in a car accident, because remember, this is the new 52 Superman.
Yeah, that did happen. I think it was on his prom night, if I remember.
Prom night, exactly. But essentially, this is her being the supportive wife she is and helping him through his grief. And
because Scion and Superman were like brothers. Yes, there were times they couldn't stand each other. There was times where Scion was full of himself.
That's just what brothers do.
But Clark was always there to keep Scion in check. He was there. He was a mentor to him. It's kind of like Anakin and Obi-Wan, except the roles are reversed.
And except Scion does not turn evil.
That is true. You feel for the big guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wally...
It serves to humanize Scion because he's going through Survivor's Guild again. Kathy, would you have Beacon show up?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, she can show up in the John Kent book.
Yeah, maybe I
That's the only place where she would really fit. Because I'm like, of the books that we're doing, where would that
unless
work?
you put her on a recon team with like Maya Jacquard and Damien, unless you put them on a strictly reconnaissance team. But
I didn't know Kathy had powers.
Kathy, she was a shapeshifter. She was a shape-shifting alien. She just looked human.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But man, this was a good discussion.
This was a really good one. I had fun with this one. We went almost for 2 hours. So you want to tease the audience on what our next discussion is?
Oh yes, give me just a second to pull it up, Jared. While I do that,
one.
Jared,
this
Jared,
really
what you got coming up on your channel?
All right, so what's out right now is the most recent episode of Under Two Capes, where Jheat and I discuss what went wrong with Secret Invasion. We are going to do a discussion on Jheat's channel talking about the Ed Brubaker run of Captain America and why it's so awesome. There you go. We're going to talk about if DC really ripped us off by having the death of the daughter of Wonder Woman. And we're essentially on Monday. I'm still determining what I want to do for a discussion. I also have a short that came out today talking about a theory that Nick and I came up with on how to fix Miles Morales' Spider-Man and make I did mean Secret Empire. For some reason, I get those confused. Probably because most events that Marvel does have the word secret in front of them. But it's only a matter of time. Secret JLA Empire. It's only a matter of time. But
And what would you say about now? Let me know in the chat as well. How do you feel like Hippolyta growing to take the Scion name when she gets older?
Oh yeah, it's a logical choice, and it shows legacy. Oh, but what we would do is for that's when Superman actually steps down from being Superman. Like he's like, my time is over. I'm just gonna be here now. You can be the premier superhero now, and just keep this going.
Kind of like Dawn of DC, where Hippolyta leads the Titans.
Yeah,
I could see that.
And we would still have a Superman book and everything like that, but we'd also have the Scion book, which is Hippolyta. But essentially, and then next Wednesday, Nick and I are doing a discussion on writing comics. But besides that, everything else is TBD. And by the way, in an hour, we are going live on Comics League to talk about Army of the Dead.
So be sure to check out Jared's channel for that.
All right, guys.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss notifications. And flame off. Whoa!